Interstate highways allow travelers a nearly unhindered race across the desert Southwest. But if you're not in a hurry,
How far is the roof of the cave underneath?
they also provide access to some of the greatest places you'll ever visit.
Snow geese are coming up here, just left of the large.
Fewer than 30 minutes from the freeway. And it doesn't take four wheels to get to them.
Funding for The Desert Speaks was provided by Desert Program Partners, representing concerned viewers making a financial commitment to the education about and preservation of deserts, and by the Stonewall Foundation.
She wasn't a child. East of Tucson, the mountains and higher elevation make for more habitable places and a greater variety of landscapes than to the west. Within 30 minutes of the freeway, there's a menu of unusual places to visit, even in winter. Here in the uplands around the edges of the Sonoran Desert, snow is more common than in the desert itself. They may get a snow every 3 or 4 years instead of every 10 to 20 years. You don't see any saguaros here. We're about 800 feet above the limit of the saguaros, and where we got snow here, they got rain down below. Saguaros and snow don't get along real well, but mesquite, another desert plant, seems to do very well, and it's nice to see icicles growing at the edge of the mesquite leaves.
I don't know if it was during the winter when two friends of mine, Randy Tufts and Gary Tenen, were crawling around on some limestone back in the early 1970s when they uncovered a very unusual hole. It's now a state park.
Chris, you've got snow on your gates here.
Yeah, we do.
I don't think I've seen them with snow on them before.
No, it's pretty rare out here. It's nice to see. We need the water.
Boy, I'll say we do. It's nice to end a drought if it is ending with snow. All right, the modern day tram. How often have you ridden in this, Chris, with the ice and snow embedded in the back of the seat in front of you?
Not often. We're almost 4,700 feet up.
Oh my, what a view of the
Isn't
Whetstone.
that gorgeous?
Yeah. Do you see that limestone reef up there? You know.
The upper thirds of the Whetstone's all limestone, and it's readily apparent. And of course, we have limestone. You probably have a cave of some sort.
Yeah, it's got to be. And if you're a really sophisticated geologist and spelunker, you know where to look for it.
One of the indicator plants is Ocotillo, which we have in abundance on this hillside here.
Yeah,
And
that's a good stand of it right up there.
And it loves to grow in limestone. So a lot of times if you're driving in Arizona, you see it out there, you know it's limestone rock. Boy, it's just beautiful with the snow.
It changes everything.
It makes the desert less harsh with the snow on it. If you look over to your left, you'll see the sinkhole. This is the original entrance to the cave, discovered in 1974 by Gary and Randy. This is also a way that air exchange takes place in the cave. Air goes in, air comes out. It's also the way the bats come and go in the summer months.
And we're actually walking on top of the
There's a
the
natural
cave now?
passageway that takes you from the sinkhole right underneath us over there to the front where the big room is. And the big room was the first section of the cave discovered back in November of 1974 by Gary and Randy. As they continued to explore the big room, they eventually discovered a passageway that took them to the rotunda room and then the throne room. And that was the final section of the cave explored.
Then how far is the roof of the cave underneath us here?
Just a few feet.
That's got to be very strong limestone.
It's very strong, very stable. It has a natural arch through the cave, which gives it stability and strength and safety.
If the cave is wet, and I know the humidity is pretty overwhelming inside.
About 98%.
What difference does that make in the appearance and development of a cave as opposed to other caves that are dry?
Well, the moisture is critical because without moisture, the formations are not going to continue to grow. And when they're growing, they're vivid and the colors are spectacular. If they're dry, you get this opaque or chalky appearance to them.
When you go into the cave, what are the things that stand out most, the most spectacular parts?
If I had to pick a formation or an area of the cave, I think it's the throne room in Kubla Khan. Kubla Khan is this massive 58-foot column, the largest one in Arizona, and it's spectacular. The colors are vivid, it's still growing and alive, there's still moisture, it's still shiny and wet and active. And to see something like that underground, when you're driving out here and you see mostly rock and mesquite and whatnot, it's hard to believe until you actually see it in person.
What are the various formations that cavers talk about that we will see inside?
Oh, we have all sorts to look at. We have soda straws.
Soda straws?
Soda straws, which is a hollow stalactite, narrow top to bottom unless it becomes plugged up. And then the water can travel on the outside, giving you a stalactite where it's wider at the base and pointier at the tip. We have halectites, which looks like a little pigtail or fettuccine, which grows in all different manners and forms, outwards, upwards, downwards. We have bacon, which is a type of drapery where the water's coming down at an angle, and different colors, the oranges or the reds or the tans, give you the appearance of bacon. And that's a very favorite formation of people to look at, very pretty, and everyone likes bacon just about. We have a formation called fried eggs, which is a type of stalagmite where the water's dripping at a very slow but constant rate, giving the appearance of a fried egg or sometimes mashed potatoes and gravy. We have flowstone, which is water just seeping into the cave, which is very beautiful. Looks like frozen ice or frozen water. We have a no touching policy, which is strictly enforced. The only thing you can touch inside the cave is a stainless steel handrail, and that's cleaned daily. So there's no human contact on formations of the walls, and that way we don't transfer oils or bacteria to the cave or the formations.
This time, I head east with my friend Larry Losey on a total of 4 wheels, sharing the road with numerous much larger vehicles that have 18 of them. One way to arrive in Tombstone is by motorcycle. It's certainly about as kitschy as any place can get. They used to mine silver here. Gosh, 1879 it was founded. It's pretty old. Now they mine people who come here, tourists, and that's the source. If I'm going to walk around in Tombstone, though, it's much better to have a hat than a helmet to wear. After all, this is the Old West, and Wyatt Earp did not wear a motorcycle helmet. Tombstone was founded in 1879. There was so much silver here that miners flooded into the area from all over the United States and even Mexico and other countries. The silver was almost there for the taking, but gradually, as the mines got deeper, water began to flood in, and the problem of removing that water became so severe that the mines closed down. The name Tombstone has become associated with the slogan, "The town too tough to die," because so many times people thought the place was dead. Water pumping became available, the mine started up again. Who knows, someday they might even start up again now. Imagine the year is 1881. The actors are not really actors. They're men who are jealous of a woman, some of them named Earp. And things are going to get pretty noisy and pretty hectic around the OK Corral in Tombstone. When you combine a lot of silver and a lot of booze and a young woman and some men in their 20s and 30s, you have a guaranteed recipe for a fight. And in Tombstone, it happened a lot. In this case, in OK Corral, it became deadly. And as you can see, the close range meant that people were guaranteed to be killed, and they were. There's a Harley rally a couple times a year in Tombstone. The Harleys are easier to crash, and they're actually a little bit harder to get off and on than these are, but they do go faster. The attempts to recreate an authentic tombstone have been fairly well done, but the reality would have been that the streets would have been full of animal manure, garbage, and the dust would have been overpowering about 9 months of the year. When it did rain, the mud here would have been simply awful. The stage coaches, when they came in, people would get off, they would be covered with dust. And if there were a rainstorm, they might have to get out and help move the stagecoach out of the mud, push it out to get up into the town of Tombstone. But once they got here, there was plenty of booze, plenty of food, and plenty of the other things that go with boom towns that we perhaps should not go into. Every fall, Tombstone has a Western music festival. They certainly have plenty of people, and they do have some pretty good bands. Tombstone, why don't you let them be? Tombstone, set those spirits free. The Western singers are gathering from all over the country. There's a fellow from Atlanta, a woman from Denver, some people from San Diego. And they're converging on Tombstone, maybe with the hopes of liberating it. Very nice song, a very nice combination of soft guitar and just the perfect Western voice.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
A lot of winter visitors that Arizonans call snowbirds come south to see real birds, especially one huge flock of very large ones in the Sulphur Springs Valley.
They're not here to feed, they're in the water to roost.
For protection.
It's for protection, it's for safety. A lot of predators won't approach through the water. And even those that do, say a coyote or a bobcat comes up, the crane flock is going to hear them splashing and is going to be able to move out of the way, whether they stride away slowly in their crane-like way or whether they fly off. So this is all about safety at the roost.
How long will they be here in southern Arizona?
They'll be here through mid to late February. By the time March rolls around, they are pretty uncommon. But in early March, it's possible to find them here in the Wilcox area.
How many do you estimate are here right now?
Wouldn't surprise me at all to have 20,000 birds total right here. And that's about half. 20,000 birds is about half of all the sandhill cranes in Arizona. Look at them come up out of the flock here on the right now.
Oh, yeah.
From here, in the middle of February, they'll head north then?
They'll head north, yeah. And we've got cranes in this Wilcox playa flock of two populations. Lesser sandhill cranes are going to stand more than 3 feet high, and greater sandhill cranes will stand more than 4 feet high. The greater sandhill cranes will drop out in Utah and Idaho, not all that far from here. They'll breed in marshes in the mountains. The other birds will keep going all the way north and will not breed until they reach northern Canada, Alaska, northern Asia. There are individual birds that have been tracked doing 350 to 400 miles in a day. If you look over the mass of birds against the mountains, you can see that they're moving north up into the cornfields to feed for a couple of hours.
Oh, that's a lot of corn here.
That's a lot of corn, but there's a lot of corn in the Sulphur Springs Valley. And as the morning goes on, we'll see them come up in huge lines and flocks to move north to glean waste grain from the fields north of here. Around about 10 o'clock, mid-morning, they'll start moving south again back towards this area where they'll loaf. And loafing is exactly what it sounds like. They'll just sort of stand around on one leg and nap during the middle of the day. In the water or on an island in the water, you can see some exposed areas of mud out here. Snow geese are coming up here, just left of the larger flock of cranes. Probably some Ross's geese out there too. They're pretty far away.
Wow, look at that. You can tell they're snow geese, can't
Yeah.
you? That's white. They're still out there, and some of them are actually going sort of almost to the east and west. They're not all going the same direction.
No, they're
which
not
I guess
all.
is a
They're
smart
not all
idea.
going the same direction. Yeah, they spread out over the entire valley, looking for any field that has some waste corn for them to glean. This flock in the Wilcox area has really grown. From the mid-30s to the late 60s, there were very, very few sandhill cranes wintering in Arizona. Nobody's quite certain why they disappeared. But in the late 60s, they started coming back. And by the time you got to the mid-90s, you could see 10, 12,000 sandhill cranes here in a day. And now, this year, the counts that one's hearing about are 40,000 birds. When the sun came up and we could first see this right-hand flock, it was just solid cranes, impossible sometimes to distinguish individuals. But now you can see that these are the laggards and the sleepyheads. It's really a prehistoric sound.
It is a prehistoric sound.
And in fact, sandhill crane is the earliest attested North American bird. There are Miocene fossils that are assigned to this present-day
Is
species.
that right?
Yeah.
Oh, they've been around a while.
A long time.
So that's 20 million years.
Yeah. A very, very successful bird.
Farther down the interstate is Wilcox. I once migrated for a few years to the mountains nearby and want to make another migration, this time on 2 wheels, self-propelled to my old stomping grounds. We'll be going up a 9-mile road, gaining just under 2,000 feet elevation. It's not just any mountain range. More than a century ago, it was home to the Chiricahua Apaches.
Well, I warn you about Chiricahua National Monument. You can't really describe what the rocks are like. You don't see them from out in here. But once you get in there, it's this massive volcanic explosion caused this whole area to be covered with rhyolite, and it's weathered since, and there's these goblin-like features in it.
So the vegetation changes in a hurry here.
Oh, it does. All of a sudden we're in juniper, oak, some Arizona cypress, and it'll get even. We'll get up into pinon.
Slope is getting a little steeper here.
It's getting steep. And you can't really see the big picture here. When we get to the top, everything will be made clear.
Then you have the view.
Yeah. There's 8 or 9 different kinds of oaks, and each has a different purpose. The best, the Bayota or the Emery oak, the Apaches almost lived on. Makes a good flour from the acorns. You can see the first of the Wonderland of Rocks, they used to call it.
Yes.
The rhyolite, nobody knew where it really came from until the late 1960s when they first had satellite maps. And they looked at the Chiricahuas and they saw this crater. They said, my God, it's a caldera. And that explosion from that caldera explains all these volcanic rocks. So they dated it 27 million years ago. It was at least 100 times bigger than Mount St. Helens. Covered the entire area with hundreds and hundreds of feet of ash that cemented to become this rhyolite. And then the weathering did the rest. And you see these eerie rock formations.
It looks just like monuments, like high-rises, natural high-rises.
You know, they've had about 12 to 14 years of bad drought.
So this has stressed this vegetation here
Very much
over the
so.
last 10 years.
Very much so.
The canyons are getting steeper here,
Yeah.
the walls.
You can imagine the U.S. Army trying to chase down Apaches up in this kind of country. It'd be impossible. The Spaniards in the 1740s decided once and for all they were going to exterminate the Apaches. They chased them in here, and then they got lost completely.
So neither army was really equipped for this kind of terrain or battle.
The top's only a couple miles away, and I don't want to discourage you, but I believe it gets steeper. Watch the rocks, guys. You know, if I didn't think I'd go off the edge, I'd look out there.
I have the Sally Field syndrome where I want to do a flying nun thing.
Why don't you wait till we get up on top? They do make backpacks for bicyclists that turn into a parachute.
Yes, it's a little dredge chute that you pull.
Now, you know, people don't understand that we wear these tight-fitting clothes for a reason, and it's not just aesthetics.
Aerodynamics, perspiration. We wear clothing that wicks moisture, keeps us warmer in the winter, cooler in the summer, and acts like a second skin when we do come off of this thing at 35 miles an hour. And it looks good.
Who says it looks good?
I do.
You know, I think you're kind of ugly myself.
You mean I'm doing this to be insulted?
Yes. Well, I know you're disappointed, guys, but unfortunately, we have reached the top. Oh, hey, do you see why they call that the heart of rocks?
Oh boy,
Look at the rocks.
absolutely
My
gorgeous.
gosh. Isn't that marvelous? Whether you choose to drive, walk, ride, pedal, or even ride horseback, there are plenty of wild places remaining within 30 minutes of the freeway.
The liar on there. Hey, dadgum, it's just mildly venomous, right?
Yeah.
The capacity to deliver venom has proved a pretty handy strategy for various desert animals, and there are plenty of different kinds that do so. Most famously, the rattlesnake.
Look at that sidewinding motion.
People have usually persecuted them and then wiped out their habitat, but now they're finding some unusual allies. Next time on The Desert Speaks.
Funding for The Desert Speaks was provided by Desert Program Partners, representing concerned viewers making a financial commitment to the education about and preservation of deserts, and by the Stonewall Foundation.
This entire season of The Desert Speaks is now available as a box set of 10 episodes. To order this or other programs from Arizona Public Media, visit our website, azpm.org, or call 800-841-5923.